Ever think about what really happens in the animal kingdom?
Did I walk in on? Oh God!
It's a wild world with no rules. Just animals, surprising rivals, and some jaw-dropping moments. Watch as powerful forces face off against tough opponents. It's a thrilling spectacle that will keep you hooked. If you're ever up against a bear, you better hope it's just a dream, because see how these two grizzlies end up? For us, it's just a light match, but with all the growls and pounces going on, you know it is really going down. For people who say they could probably win in a bear fight, a bear can't even beat a bear in a bear fight. Just see this. As the two gut each other out, you would expect the loser to let loose, but the end is shockingly unexpected. This is one battle you wouldn't even expect. While the bear usually remains a top participant in the food chain, here is one trying to get rid of a couple of yapping dogs. With the way the huskies performed, I see why our ancestors had big packs of dogs now. As the winds raged and the desperation to mark territory kicked in, two whiteys stood their ground as they tried their best to win the race. Their claws out, their hopes of victory streaking each other, the duo tussled until one eventually raised the white flag. You know how they say a problem isn't just black and white? Well, now I don't know what these guys are fighting over, but they're clearly way in over their heads, both trying to use their strong bite, but neither daring to use their kicks. Even for a play fight, this is surprisingly intense.
Come on. Look.
Wow.
It's not always about making it out alive. Sometimes, all it takes to earn strangers' glory is knowing you went all in. Just look at what this guanaco did when it faced the mighty lion. It may not have survived, but it went down a hero.
Lo tiene.
One grizzly took another pair's frivolous activities to heart and decided to give them a good old beating. Only things didn't turn out as expected. Trigger warning. These things get so messy, you need some time to calm down your heart. Gentle giants? Yeah, right. They might be kind most of the time, but the minute they've got a grudge to work on, elephants turn into gladiators. And it looks like one of them conceded. But the arena was so intense, the cameraman had to butt out. This lioness expected the wildebeest to run, but the antelope had other plans. It decides to pounce at her instead. It's so baffling, it takes the lioness a few seconds to compose herself, and then the true thrill begins. But even then, the end is unusual. In the Masai Mara, skirmishes like these are an everyday thing. But here's what's different. The youngster is battling with such savagery, it's got the older lion admitting defeat and following suit. Well, we know who the new king of the jungle is. This is the most intense battle you'll ever see. The same species, the same clan, heck, even the same goal: victory. But there's only one difference here: the new versus the old. Who would win? Of course, the older one takes the cake.
The old bull is victorious. But only just.
Unbelievable! These two antelope aren't pulling any horns. It's a clash of titans on the savannah.
He'll just move away, but it can potentially end in death. If,
Dust is flying, tempers are flaring, and it looks like we've got ourselves a real herd wrecker of a fight. Let's see who lands the fight.
I mean, you forget that those horns are nice and sharp, eh? Oh, it is backing off. He's the one with the hole in the neck.
Teka lang, let's
After a young lion infiltrated one pride's territory, 3 of their strongest fighters go out to confront it. The arena gets so heated, it even alerts the local crocs and hippos, all eager for an insider's pick. And then, down goes Mufasa. When you've been given horns like that, you bet you'd take your best bet fighting for your life. The lioness may not have expected this outcome, but she'll certainly be regretting her decision for days to come.
वीडियो बन रही है पक्का
Only in India would you find 2 of the toughest creatures on Earth raging a battle so casually in the middle of the road. Even the driver knows how precious this footage is and is determined to make it all worth it.
Intraspecific aggression, baby.
This is straight out of a Dr. Dolittle movie, as two Florida Panthers decide to test out their egos against one territory. An unexpected barrier comes into play. Will the duo concede or stay on top of it?
A big boy wanted to join in. Wow. How cool is that?
What you're about to watch is pure gold, because this is the only battle ever successfully recorded between an elephant and a giraffe. Both duo, usually known for their charm and gentle spirit, end up succumbing to the same territory's pull. Here's a big, hungry wolf that was so desperate for a bite, it began messing with a wolverine. But if there's one thing we know about the animal kingdom, it's that when it comes down to the food, neither party is willing to budge. And then the wolverine takes its final stance, with a big bad wolf losing its ego and food. When the gator crashed the horse's hangout, that horse got rightfully riled. Can we fault the horse for that? The gator tried to slow things down, but the horse wasn't having it. See you later, alligator, that horse neighed as it took off.
Yes, we are. Here we are. This is happening.
In a parallel world, buffaloes not only oust the jungle king, but also send it scrambling up a tree. It's a feline's worst dream. And even though it's got a pretty majestic mane, this lion is one tiny, frightened kitty. Here's where a group of emperor penguins, having just scored a good hunt, suddenly find themselves facing fierce seals. What follows is a tense showdown. One side struggles to survive, the other seeks a meal. The outcome? Well, it's not too surprising. You might want to buckle up or stay away, because things are about to get pretty gruesome. As the brawl goes on, two members of the same clan try to determine who's going to take the cake, pushing, pulling, scratching, and biting. It all eventually gets to a head when one decides to take the ultimate revenge. We think tigers are the big bad kitties of the jungle, but anything willing to take a tiger on 1v1 is not something to screw with. Like this mama sloth bear, who's doing everything in her power to keep the striped kitty away from her cubs. All felines are kitties. But here's what the doggo isn't getting. When you're out in the wild, every kitty gets upgraded, and it looks like the snow leopard gave it quite a mean stare with how it ran off. When a pack of wolves lands its scent on you, the only thing to do is pray. But while these hungry canines may think they've got it all, they forget that desperation brings one heck of fighting power. Kudos to the snow leopard for keeping these dogs on their toes. You'd think that a striped Marty like this in the water with Crocs means one thing and one thing only: doom. But when you've got the will to live, anything's possible, even making a bunch of Crocs look like dumb fools. Nothing to see here, just a casual safari. And of course, the lioness gets the prize. But does that last? Motherhood's ferociousness knocks the door, and out comes the staggering, painful kick. That lioness is nursing a concussion for sure. And this is what a lion looks like when it messes with the wrong zebra. That tells you a lot about the power behind Marty's kicks. This might just be the most adorable, yet unusually electric fight you've ever seen. These red pandas were clearly looking for an outlet, and found it. And now, all they've got to do is play in the snow. Raccoons aren't always stuffing themselves into a bin. Sometimes they've got too much pent-up energy and want to blow off the steam. Watch as the two try to solve some problems through arms and end up scuttering away when they've been spotted.
Hey, dude.
Watch this tomcat battle for its life as it unexpectedly meets a foe on the patio. Things get seriously gnarly, with neither side budging, until the kitty reminds the coyote that sometimes climbing up a post can help with more than just landing some birds. As a cheetah sank its claws into the topi, the grown antelope decided it wasn't going to become lunch today. If you think the topi holding on is impressive enough, look at how it makes the spotted kitty run back in fright. Ever seen King Kong battle itself? This is so intense, you'd think it's straight out of a movie. But as the silverbacks decide to fight each other, their attempt is a clear sign for dominance and a warning for the little ones to abandon ship. As two gazelles locked in on a hot-blooded tussle, out came an unexpected savior. Looks like Sir Lancelot sprinting in. But will it be the way we think? Of course not. The lion's appearance reminds the gazelles what happens when you forget your easy prey. Although kangaroos are always ready to throw hands, beating themselves is a big challenge. With the way the duo are going, you'd think this is just a couple of drunk men at a bar fight, but the match is unexpectedly amusing. Watch two kinkajous, South American cousins of the raccoons, clash as dusk approaches. They're probably doing this to get a mate, but as they toss and turn, you can't help but wonder if they're better off with each other. This video is so unexpected, we could convince you it's a fake. But it isn't. And that's why it's so special. We don't give anteaters much thought, but this is how easily it gives these Argentinian jaguars a taste of their own ferociousness. When two nope ropes end up entangled, who's the one to open the knot? The snake's clearly trying to get in first, but it looks like it's finally met its match. As the end approaches, you see things in a way you've never before. It's not only the males who fight for territory. In the wild, even females get invigorated. And in just a few seconds of heated clashes, the winner is declared as quickly as it all began.
Are you getting a video?
Yes.
I'm switching to photos.
Males moving parallel to each other. Male coming up at the back.
Look. Coming in from the right, the right.
I'm rolling.
And here are two female leopards fighting over the right to the ground, and the male that walks over it. Neither knows how to proceed, except that one will take the fall. And it's the one who threw the first claw.
Looks like he's calming things down.
Having ourselves a badass fight between some blackbirds here.
Check out these two birdies. Gracca lacking it all.
Who's winning? Nature is so peaceful and loving.
As the grackles care not about what's going on around them, one predator decides to exploit this turn. The question is, will the grackles escape?
Uh-oh. Oh, that was awesome! Did you see that? Fight over. I can't believe that.
Usually, you wouldn't see a honey badger run in the opposite direction, but when you've got a couple of Ethiopian wolves ready to try out their luck, anything is possible, even defeat. A great Grisson versus a Tegu. Who'd win? The reptile or the black and white mustelid? Keep your eyes peeled for the encounter. It can get muddled up in all the excitement. This might just be the most disturbing thing you'll see. The way the otter drags out the raccoon shows you just how gruesome these creatures can be.
Did I walk in on? Oh God!
When you mess with your wife, expect backlash no matter who you are. This show's waking up your wife goes as badly in the animal kingdom as it does anywhere else. Ever seen the nilgai bulls tackling their egos with headbutts? Since this species are usually seen with a much gentler presence, knowing they can tough it out on the arena is oddly discomforting. This is what maternal desperation looks like. As the cougar settles on her baby, the mother elk has no choice but to sacrifice herself. But it isn't all that disappointing. Although she hurt her baby a bit, you can see the mother-daughter duo end up winning it all. Otters. They're pretty cute, right? Well, not unless you count their ruthless wars. When the claws come out, it gets so gnarly, even the cartels would cower in front of them. Just check out what happens when two otter gangs rival for the same territory. Elephant seals aren't only just blubber. Inside, they're carrying heaps of anger and grudges as big as themselves. And while they usually keep to themselves, the second the chances of landing a female comes into play, they enter an epic battle that decides who gets to unveil the bride. This marine battle is so wild, you'll be on the edge of your seat, pressing rewind and replaying it all over again. Yep, we're seeing one of nature's fiercest animals take a casual beating by what usually is its prey.
Oop. So I'm reintroducing these girls. She just let herself out of my trailer. I'm putting these guys back out in my sow pasture with my boar.
Well, looky here. Nothing but what usually becomes our bacon. But it looks like one of them is trying to make the other toast. Perhaps this is what usually goes on in farm life, but I don't know why they're fighting when we know they're going to end up on a plate.
In front of me, and they're slowly moving closer.
This grizzly might have skipped a few how to become a ferocious bear classes. Either that, or it's simply dumb. Because even though you're a grizzly, picking a fight with a Godzilla-sized boar is a lesson that's best learnt hard. Master Crane versus a random Roosterino. While the latter may be agile and quick with his beaks, will his attempts to mess with tall and handsome over here end up well? And then steps in the Crane with a display of intimidation. Guess who's chicken now? What happens when you're all bark and no bite? One pupper's about to find out the results of messing with a peaceful simpleton. The capybara doesn't even need to do anything but the wrong woof, and it decides it's had enough.
Breaking into a pig pen, and guess what? The pigs were not having it.
That's right, you stand up for yourselves, pigs. Now, the animals defended their turf.
This Winnie the Pooh couldn't resist the temptation for some sweet, sweet bacon. But the pigs in the blanket were pretty prepared to ward off an intruder. As it rattled and battled, that bacon and bear meat smash ended up in an unexpected direction.
They went on the attack and they forced that bear to climb back over the fence. And afterwards, the pigs just went back to eating.
You go, pigs!
That's right. You stand up. Don't let people take your food.
The honey badger might be used to winning all the races, but when it's up against what's practically just big horns with a bigger body, the odds aren't really working in its favor. That's expected, at least. Classic rules of fighting. 2 versus 1 isn't usually a fair game. But when the loner's got a fighting spirit twice its size and a great combination of claws and snarls, even 2 great predators can't match the spiteful presence. While the snake might spook many, facing a honey badger is a whole different story. Despite its best efforts, like aiming for the head, this mole snake couldn't best the tenacious honey badger. It's clear who emerged victorious in this showdown.
Oh, cool.
Ouch! The crocodile's strong hold promises a feast, but not when faced with a united, thunderous family packed with unmatched empathy. Add in their massive weight, and you've got a recipe for a stomping good defense. The saying goes, cats and curiosity make quite a pair. But occasionally, even big predators like leopards can act foolish. Despite repeated warnings from the iguana, this kitty didn't back off. And then, of course, the reptile eventually retaliated with unbridled fury. This unusual face-off features a tough dog against a proud walrus. After a tense stare-off, they're set for a showdown. Despite the sea lion's numbers, surprise, surprise, the pit bull triumphs and marks its territory. Once a sand conger sea snake snags a tasty treat, it stops at nothing to claim it, even if a hermit crab has already laid claim. Neither side willing to back down, the struggle grows intense. In a surprising turn, the prey decides its fate, pulling one predator away from the other. Usually, the reptile and the cartilage fish don't usually mess around. But when they did, the latter decide to give it a good old try. And here's another duo, probably trying its best to get along just fine, as long as they both get a taste. Animals can be mysterious, even to themselves. Sometimes they take a chance and end up munching on a buddy. With no other choice, the distressed friend calls on a pair of nurse sharks to restore the peace. When a crocodile charges, most creatures at the receiving end don't stand a chance. But what if it's a black mamba? Would the snake make it out alive? Despite injecting its venom, the crocodile, driven by hunger, seems unfazed. Now that's dedication. You don't need to be the same species to have each other's backs. Just check this out. The great white thought it had scored a meal with the seal colony, but out pops a big boy that gives that great white something to yap about back at home. Check out this lemon shark just trying to get by life, hoping for a good meal. But will the stingray forget its mistake? Although the weather's pretty cloudy, you can tell the lemon shark ended up pulling the short stick. Here's a rare sight. Stingrays usually boast unbeatable defenses, yet bull birds aren't backing down. They're taking the fight to the stingray, right in its own turf. Quite the turn of events. The stingray finally gets a taste of its own medicine. Nature sure is unpredictable. Amore, amore. If this were love, we'd be singing sweet tunes. But it's all about brains and pride now. See the yellow margin and yellowhead morays going at it. Goodbye, little buddy. You did your best. Here's a cute seahorse just strolling along the seabed. Bam! Didn't see that one coming. Who'd guess a flounder could pull off a predator move like that? Maybe we've been watching The Little Mermaid a few too many times. Reality sure has its plot twists. Catching a sea snake takes guts, yet when you're soaring above, grabbing a venomous reptile seems less daring. After all, it can't bite you mid-flight, and it looks like this sea snake's got itself a one-way ticket to the sky. Talk about an adventurous journey.